Good evening. I would like to call to order the regular meeting of the Newport News School Board for Tuesday, March 17, 2026. On behalf of the members of the school board and Dr. Mitchell, I welcome each of you present this evening and those who are watching on TV and online. A quorum is present to transact the business of the school division. We have one member of the school board who wishes to participate in our regular meeting electronically. As indicated in Board Policy BEE, electronic participation in meetings from remote location, the board member must make such request, cite the reason for remote attendance, and the board must approve the request by majority vote of the members present. School board member Rashina Harris has made such a request. Mrs. Harris?
Yes.
Would you share with the board your request to participate in the meeting electronically, please?
Yes, I would like to request to participate virtually due to travel.
Thank you, Mrs. Harris, for your request. What is the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we accept the request. Are there any questions, comments? Ms. Buffalo, call the roll, please.
Harris.
4.
Oh, disregard that, Ms. Harris, not you. I apologize. Hunter.
4.
Searles Law. 4. Alger.
4.
Amon.
4.
Brown.
4.
Best.
4.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now I will call Ms. Kyla Leggett, our student representative to the school board, to introduce tonight's student guest for the invocation and pledge.
Thank you, Chairman Dr. Best. We will begin tonight's meeting with the invocation and pledge to the flag. Here to do the honors are 2 students from Stony Run Elementary School, Anaya Camo, and who will be accompanied by her sister Naraya Camo, and Derek Oliver. First, Anaya will come forward and deliver the invocation. She will be followed by Derek, who will come forward and deliver the pledge. Anaya, will you please come forward and tell us a little bit about yourself before you get started?
I'm 10. My favorite colors are purple and yellow like the Lakers, and my favorite sports are swimming, gymnastics, and chess. Thank you. My name is Anaya Kamal, and this is my sister Naraya Kamal. I am a proud 4th grader representing Stony Run Elementary School. I am honored to stand before you today to speak about National Women's History Month. National Women's History Month is a time to celebrate the achievements, strength, and contribution of women throughout history and in our everyday lives. It reminds us that women and girls can do anything, lead, create, inspire, and make a difference in the world. At my school, I am lucky to be surrounded by strong and inspiring women to help guide me every day. I would like to give a special shout out to my amazing principal, Ms. Ford, for being a little leader and encouraging us to do our best and believe in ourselves. I also want to recognize our administrative assistant principal, Ms. Thomas, who keeps everything running smoothly and always greets us with kindness. I would also like to give a very special thank you to my mom for her love, support, and encouragement. She inspires me every day to work hard, believe in myself, and be the best person I can be. I would also like to thank Superintendent Dr. Michelle Mitchell for her leadership and to the women in our school board. Thank you for your service, your leadership, and your commitment to education. As a young girl, it means so much to me to see women in leadership roles. It shows me that dreams are possible and that one day I can make a difference too. Thank you for this opportunity and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You may be seated. Let's give another round of applause for that awesome invocation. Derek, will you please come forward and tell us a little bit about yourself before you begin the pledge?
Hello, I am also 10 years old, and I like playing basketball, chess, and my favorite color is black and red. Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Michelle Mitchell, members of the school board, and guests. My name is Derek Oliver, and I'm a 5th grade student at Stony Run Elementary School. It is my honor to lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may now be seated.
Thank you guys for participating in tonight's meeting. You guys did a wonderful job. Supporting Anaya and Derek tonight are their family members and school family. Please stand and be recognized. The board appreciates the encouragement you have given these students, and we thank you for bringing them to tonight's meeting.
Yes, thank you. You were so inspiring. Thank you so very much. The next item on tonight's agenda is school board recognitions. Dr. Mitchell, please join me at the podium.
For some reason, I want to sing I'm Every Woman after that speech. Well, good evening, Newport News family. I have the honor and privilege of recognizing some outstanding members of our school community this evening. Our first honorees are very integral to the operation of our school division and become particularly near and dear to us during the month of March as we prepare our budget for next school year. Our budget team has once again received an award for its outstanding work. The Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada has awarded this Distinguished Budget Presentation Award to the Newport News School Board for its annual budget document for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025. The award is the highest form of recognition in the area of governmental budgeting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by a government and its management, according to GFOA. The award reflects the commitment of the governing body and staff to meeting the highest principles of governmental budgeting. In addition, the Association of School Business Officials International awarded Newport News Public Schools Budget to Meritorious, budget award. I've been practicing all week, y'all. To earn the ASBO award, NNPS staff preparing the budget document met the criteria of demonstrating skills in developing an effective budget presentation, compliance with clear budget presentation guidelines, a commitment to the community through a reader-friendly budget document, and adherence to nationally recognized budget presentation standards. Please come forward to accept your award. Budget, there, give it up. Budget Supervisor, Irene Cooper. Senior Budget Analyst, Erin Awesome Wills. It's not here, okay. Senior Budget Analyst, Leslie McLeese. Congratulations. We also like to thank their supporters in the audience this evening. Thank you all so much for being here. In addition, we'd like to acknowledge Director of Finance Dwight Duran and Chief Operations Officer Rusty Fairhart. Thank you for your support. And now we'll take a photo. Again, congratulations. Our next honorees are regional and state champions for the Virginia High School League winter season. Tonight, we're thrilled to recognize the achievements of these talented students and athletes as we ask that each of you please remain at the front until your photo is taken with the group. In wrestling, Denby High School's Brendan Ramos won the Region 4A championship at 175 pounds. Brendan, please come forward. Is he here? Also from Denby, and DeMaio Wynn earned the Region 4A Wrestling Championship at 113 pounds. Denby's wrestling coach is Otis Wesby. Would you please come forward as well? Woodside High School, Carmen McDaniel is the Region 5B Wrestling Champion at 157 pounds. Woodside's wrestling coach is Cameron Mix. Come on up. Congratulations to each of you. Just stay right up here with me. We would also like to thank their families and friends who may be with us this evening. If you would like, please stand. All right now. Thank you. Also, we acknowledge administrators, Denby Principal Dr. Adira Struthers, and assistant principals, Dr. James Jones and Lisa Eckhoff. Are you here? No. And athletic director, Marcus Johnson Williams. He's waving. Thank you. And Woodside Principal, Dr. Mary Hardesty, I saw her. Assistant Principals, Gracie Foley and Michael Bellamy, and Athletic Director, Eric Battle. If you are here, please wave. Again, thank you for your support. Now we're gonna take a photo. Come on around. Next, we have individual event Region 5B swimming and diving champions, all of whom are from Menchfield High School. Please join me in congratulating them as their names are called for them to please come forward. Jose McCauley for boys diving. The girls 200-meter medley relay team, Samantha Branshaw, Emma Westfall, Rylene Harris, and Sarah Cash. Come on up. I also want to share that Emily Westfall for girls 200-meter individual medley and Emma Westfall for girls 100-meter breaststroke. Wow. I'd like to say thank you to head coach Leslie Coates, assistant coach, I'm going to say this correctly, Savera Torcal, right? Dentu? Salvatore. Okay, assistant coach Darby Dentu. Come on up. In addition, we're very proud to recognize Jose McCauley for his Class 5 state championship in boys diving. Jose won the title at the state meet on February 19th at Brittingham Middletown Community Center. He finished the first meter diving competition with a final score of 309.3 and a total of 20 points to take home his state medal. Congratulations. And again, we would like to thank their coaches for supporting them. We would also like to thank their families who are in the audience who may be with us. Would you please stand? Come on now, this is your time to shine. Thank you for all you do. We would also like to acknowledge Mansfield Principal Jason Holla. Come on over here and wave with me. And assistant principals, Dr. Nicole Arrington and William Huffstuffler, if he's here, and athletic director, Jenny Nunnycomb. Come on here and wave. Thank you for your support. So now we're going to get a photo. Next, we have individual event regional champions in indoor track. Please join me in congratulating them as their names are called for them to come forward. And please remain at the front until your photo is taken. Region 3A champions from Heritage, Marcus Dozier in boys long jump. Marcus Dozier in high boys jump, and Marcus Dozier in boys triple jump. Okay. Coach Jack Bateman, Coach Ray Pollard, and Coach Chantel Powell, please come up if you're here. Region 5B champions from Warwick, Ariana Longston for girls 1,600 meters. Yeah, she got a couple more. Hold that applause. She was real busy. Ariana Longston for girls 3,200 meters. Nathan Cochran for boys 1,600 meters. Come on, Nathan. Nathan Cochran for boys 3,200 meters. Yes. Awesome job. Head coach, it's James Highsmith. Come on up. Congratulations. Assistant coach, Ron Bayton. Assistant coach, Brittany Day. Assistant coach, Jasmine Lott. Assistant coach, Dex Moore. And if they're not here, we still want to call their names because it's hard work. Yes. Good job. Region 5B champions from Woodside. Avia Hampton in girls shot put. Okay, Dara Boyd Jr. in boys 35 meter. Oh, she's coming? Come on, Miss Hampton. Dara Boyd Jr. in boys 55 meter dash. Don Trey Walls Jr. in boys 55 meter hurdles. And Xavier Canfield Jr. in boys long jump, boys triple jump, boys high jump. And Coach David Gary. Come on up. All right. We're also very proud to recognize Ariana Longston for his Class 5 state championship in the girls 1,600 meters. Ariana won the title at the state meet held on March 2nd and 3rd at the Virginia Beach Sports Center. She ran the 1,600 in a time of 5 minutes and 0.3 seconds. Congratulations, girl. We would also like to recognize her coaches, head coach James Highsmith, Coach Ron Bayton again, and Coach Brittany Day, Jasmine Lott, and Dex Moore. Congratulations. All right. And we have another state champion in indoor track. Please join me in congratulating Xavier Canfield Jr. I think he's already up here with us. Yeah, raise your hand. From Woodside for his state Class 5 championship in the triple jump. Congratulations. Xavier won the title at the state indoor track meet held on March 2nd and 3rd at the Virginia Beach Sports Center. His winning triple jump was a distance of 47 feet, 11.75 inches. I'm just trying to get a visual. Okay. Again, his coach is David Gary. Congratulations. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We would also like to thank their families and friends who may be with us this evening. Would you please stand? Come on now. Takes a village. And we'd like to acknowledge their administrators, Heritage principals, Dr. Dyron Ford, assistant principal, yes, assistant principals Jose Padaway and Melissa Rolls, and athletic director Jamie Pleckler. Come on, wait. Warwick High School principal Tiffany Thompson. Assistant principals Jessica White Oderman and Michael Edwards. Come on, Wade. And athletic director Lucas Brown. Woodside principal Dr. Mary Hardesty. Assistant principal Gracie Foley and Michael Bellamy. And of course, athletic director Eric Battle. Thank you all for your support. Now we're going to get a group photo. In NPS family, our next recognition this evening are teams that won the Region 5B Championship with outstanding performances representing NPS at that level, as well as teams that won Class 5 state championships. Please join me in congratulating the team members as their names are called for them to come forward. The Warwick High School Scholastic Bowl team, which are Region 5B champions, Sincere Bryant, Leonard Boltman Prock, Les, Randolph Cabell, Andrew Cochran, Nathan Cochran, Esther Leonard, Gabrielle Schurler, and Naomi Scott. Their sponsor is Gotham Pre-Kumar.
So close.
Oh, I've been practicing. I've been practicing. Okay, thank you. Okay. I'll be prepared next year when you're champions again. Okay. Okay, congratulations to each of you. We want to take a moment to acknowledge their family members and supporters that are here. Would you please stand and be recognized? It's your time to shine. Okay. We also like to thank the support of their principal, Tiffany Thompson, assistant principal Jessica White Ottoman, and Michael Edwards, and athletic director Lucas Brown. And now we're going to get a photo. The Warwick High School debate team that won the Region 5B debate championship. As I call your name, please come forward. Maz Milano Ariano. Okay. Kylie Fraze. Ethan Johnson. Isaiah De La Ruz. Landon Reeves. Kariana Robertson. Carlos Belmonte. And Coach Juliana Mortimer Schultz. In addition, please join me in congratulating Ethan Johnson for winning the Region 5B championship in the debate competition Student Congress category. Okay. And we'll also recognize his coach, Juliana Mortimer Schultz. Let me say thank you again, and congratulations to each of you. We do want to take a moment to acknowledge their family members and friends that are in the audience. Would you please stand? Again, we would like to thank the support of Warwick Principal Tiffany Thompson, Assistant Principals Jessica White Ottoman and Michael Edwards, and Athletic Director Lucas Brown. We'll come to the middle and have a photo. Yeah, I believe so. The Woodside High School one-act play theater team that won the Region 5B championship as well as the state Class 5 championship. When your name is called, please come forward. Paris Brown, Kylie Armstrong, Sienna Calkins, Gabriella Cartwright, Hayden Gress, Hannah Laura Hollingsworth, Abia Maxfield, Mackenzie Overton, Amani Prince, Autumn Richard, Joshin, am I pronouncing that correctly? Josian Sanchez Bonilla. Okay. Gracie Terfair. Janaya Victorian. Am I missing any other students? Okay. All right. Do we have Isabella Coleman, Lisbeth Espera, Hannah Gress, Jemiah Johnson, Carmen Laura Sandoval, I called Mackenzie Overton, Amani Prince, Autumn Richard, Chloe Ross, Brooke Royal, Kyron Shaw, Grace Tafar, Jude Terry, Excel Val, Jemiah Victorian, Lindsay Verumen, Eli Wells. Am I missing anyone? Yeah, I'm good to coaches. Yeah. Okay. So Coach Chastida Taylor, come on up. Coach, she got the trophy, y'all. Coach Kay Wright. She has the trophy as well. Woodside Arts and Communications Magnet Program Director, Amy Inslee. Come on up. This group of young people won the State One Act Play title on March 7 at the State Theater Championships in Charlottesville. They performed the play, Seven a Play in One Act, which was written by Program Administrator Amy Inslee. Congratulations. Okay. Good job. We want to take a moment to acknowledge any family and friends in the audience. Would you please stand? We want to continue to say, and we can express enough the thanks that we have to our school principal, Dr. Mary Hardesty. Again, thank you. Thank you. Assistant Principal Gracie Foley and Michael Bellamy, and Athletic Director Eric Battle for all your support. All right, we're going to come together in the middle and let's get a picture. All right, our last group this evening is the Menchville High School girls basketball team that won the Region 5B championship. Give it up. When I call your name, please come forward. Kendall Bagwell, Eamon Beard, McKinley Davis, Cameron Eccleston, Tanaya Henson, Jordan Holder, Damani Hyman, Kuyara Jones, Madeline Leach, Nevaeh Reed, Jaden Rhodes, and Olivia Rivera. Head coach Adrian Webb, assistant coach, come on, Jonathan Baez, assistant coach Jimmy Clements, assistant coach Rylan Harrison, assistant coach Sean Harrison, assistant coach Deshaun Hyman, and assistant coach Terrence James, assistant coach Harold Leggett. It took a real village to get y'all to the championship. Good job, good job. Congratulations, Menchville. We do want to take a moment to recognize any family and friends in the audience. Would you please stand? Come on. Also, a big thank you to Menchville Principal Jason Holla. Come on, wave. And assistant principals Dr. Nicole Arrington and William Husteffler, and athletic director Jenny Nunnicombe for all their support. Good job. Now we're going to come to the middle and get a photo. I want to share for all our VSHL winter honorees, we would also like to congratulate and acknowledge the support of the NNPS Athletic Director, Lee Martin. Lee, come and wave to us for all that you do each day to support their success. Thank you. At this time, we're going to take a short break so that our presenters and guests and their families may have an opportunity to leave, but you may stay if you wish to do so. You certainly are welcome to stay. So we'll stand in recess, a brief recess at this time. Thank you.
During our regular meeting, we provide time for the public to address the school board. These opportunities are scheduled in the early part of our agenda and towards the end of the meeting. As advertised, citizens may submit comments via email up to 30 minutes prior to our meeting time to be included in the official meeting record. For those of you joining us in person, the board considers this an opportunity to listen to your comments. Please understand we will consider your concerns. We ask that you comply with our 3-minute time limit. As you begin your comments, a green light will come on. A yellow light signals that you have 30 seconds remaining, and a red light and beep indicates your time is up. As your name is called, please come forward. Reverend Natalie Chamberlain, and she will be followed by Ms. Kay Warren.
Good evening, School Board, Dr. Mitchell. I'm Reverend Natalie Chamberlain, part of a broad coalition of citizens who have been attending these meetings for more than 2 years now. We see no sign that you intend to change policy, JBP, but the welfare of the LGBTQIA community is vitally important to us, so I keep asking. You're likely aware that a number of states have passed and are implementing anti-trans legislation. Medical care is being withheld, driver's licenses are being revoked, living as trans is becoming illegal. All of this not only makes living more difficult and mental health less stable, it's costing lives. These things are not happening in Virginia at the moment, but every time another law is considered, the message to our trans siblings is that they are not valued. The trans students and staff in Newport News School Division are hearing these messages just as loudly as those in Kansas, Florida, or any other state. You have the chance to assure them that they are safe here. 5 of you have voiced support for trans students, but you have still refused to act. The assurance of support is empty without action. The New Testament has something to say about empty words. You may not practice my faith tradition, but the words show wisdom nonetheless. James, the 2nd chapter, says, "What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if you say you have faith but do not have works? Can faith save you? If a brother or sister is naked and lacks daily food, and one of you says to them, 'Go in peace, keep warm and eat your fill,' and yet do not supply their bodily needs, what is the good of that?" So faith by itself, if it has no works, is dead. Professions of care are just as dead without action. If you meant what you said about supporting the LGBTQIA community, and especially those under your care, it's time to do something. Change policy, JBP.
Thank you, Ms. Kay Warren, and she will be followed by Ms. Jackie Batterson.
Good evening, members of the school board. Dr. Mitchell, how you doing? Quick, I wanted to tell you thank you. I spoke 2 years ago with some concerns I had, and right away you sent someone to my classroom, spoke with me, and a lot of my concerns were addressed and completed. So I want to tell you in person, thank you. I'm not going to look at this time. It's going to make me nervous. Okay, and if I go a little bit over, just spare me a little bit of time because this is important. The concerns I want to address tonight are clean classrooms and clean working conditions. Over the years, I've managed to tolerate working in unclean classrooms. I've learned to tolerate half-clean classrooms. I've learned to tolerate days where my trash cans were empty, but my floors were not swept. I've managed to tolerate where my floors were swept, but my rugs wasn't vacuumed. I've learned to tolerate having floors not swept or mopped, trash cans not empty, followed by having floors caked up with residuals of accumulated dirt. But members of the school board, I cannot tolerate it anymore. I cannot tolerate it anymore. A clean classroom is not a privilege, it is a right. My students have a right to work in a clean environment. My partner have a right to teach in a clean classroom. I have a right to teach in a clean classroom. My email did get across to Susan Boyd, and I really have to give and commend her because she stepped in right away. I'm not sure how she got a hold of my email along with pictures, but she stepped in right away and she started making changes, and I appreciate that. However, I have no faith in it because over the years, and even with change of staff, we fall right back into the same habits. Trash cans not being emptied, floors not being mopped, rugs not being vacuumed. And I'm always given excuses, such as, we don't have any staff. We don't have help. Oh, there was no sub. Or, well, you had a sub, but because it was a sub, they didn't know the layout of the school building, so your room didn't get clean, even though you were sent a sub to clean your classroom. I can go on with a list of excuses, but I don't think I would like to share them on this microphone. So all that I can say is, with every bone and breath in my body, I want to continue to advocate for better working conditions and clean classrooms. Because again, we deserve a right to work in clean classrooms. And if I may say just real quick, for any young women, young ladies that you're watching, you don't need a title to make a change. You don't need leadership to make a change. The only thing you need is your voice. And I just use my voice. And I hope my voice will make a change. Thank you. I didn't mean to point my pen.
Thank you. Ms. Batterson will be followed by Ms. Ivana Jones. Ivana Jones.
My name is Jackie Batterson, and I am a resident of Newport News and a Unitarian Universalist. I am here again asking that this board review the procedure JBP, which is supposed to correlate with the policy JB. This policy states that the school system will respect the dignity of all students. This procedure does not do that. In 2022-23, the former governor rolled back protections for transgender children in the state of Virginia. He had constantly advocated for policies that would restrict the rights of transgender children in public schools, prioritizing parents' rights. That administration had a period for public comments, garnering over 71,000 comments in a short period of time. These comments were deeply divided, but favored keeping the rights that these children had been living with. However, without consulting counselors, teachers, religious leaders, parents, and physicians, he ordered that those policies be changed, maintaining he was respecting parental rights. However, he failed to recognize that children also have rights. The policies he put in place harmed and stigmatized vulnerable children. The policy stated that they would not recognize the preferred pronouns or chosen name of the child unless the parent wrote to say it was all right. But that's not good enough because then it would need to be changed legally. Also, it dictated that if a child went to a teacher or any school staff with a concern about gender, that person was required to report it to the parents. Did anyone consider that if a child went to an adult they trusted, rather than the parent, that just maybe there was an issue at home? This child would then be outed without their permission. Even though that governor said it was law and that all public schools in Virginia must follow it, a number of schools in Richmond and Northern Virginia did not. There was no mechanism for enforcement. However, Newport News decided it would follow this governor's transphobic law. I am asking you again to reevaluate your procedures and actually respect all students in the school system. I will end with this. Freedom is not a gift received from the state or leader, but a possession to be won every day by the effort and the union of all. Albert Camus, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Jones will be followed by Ms. Lisa Lloyd.
Good evening, members of the school board and the superintendent. I am here tonight to speak on behalf of the many students who rely on transportation to and from magnet program schools. As a graduate of a magnet program school myself, I understand firsthand how valuable these programs are for students. My sister is also a graduate of a magnet program and unfortunately could not be here tonight because she is currently attending Hollis University on a full scholarship that she earned after participating in Ward's magnet program. These programs truly change lives and create opportunities for students to pursue their goals and careers. For this reason, I believe that taking away transportation for students who live outside of the school zone is not a good idea, nor is it fair to many students and families in our community. Many parents, like my mother when we were growing up, worked during the hours when students need to leave for school and return home. She was at work when it was time for me to catch the bus to school and still working when it was time for me to return home. Without transportation, students in similar situations may not be able to attend these programs at all. We also have families where parents are disabled, single parents who may not have access to reliable transportation, and students who are being raised by their grandparents or other family members. For many of these households, school transportation is the only reliable way for students to get to and from school. If transportation is removed, many students who want to attend a school that focuses on their interests and future career goals may no longer have that opportunity. In effect, students could be denied access to educational opportunities simply because their families cannot provide transportation. I also asked the board to consider the safety and practicality of relying on public transportation. Not all areas have easy access to public transit, and HRT buses do not directly go into many apartment communities. Some magnet schools are not located near bus lines, meaning students, including middle school and even elementary age students, would have to walk long distances just to reach transportation. Before making a final decision about eliminating school bus transportation or requiring magnet students to rely on public transportation, I respectfully ask that you carefully consider the full impact this will have on students and families throughout the community. Please look not only at how long it takes to transport students to school, but also at what opportunities may be lost if they are unable to attend these programs. Thank you for your time and considering the voices of the students and families who will be affected by this decision.
Thank you. You're Ms. Lloyd?
Yes.
Thank you.
Let me know.
Yes.
Good evening. This is on behalf of my granddaughter, Elijah Jones, as her sister said, who is off in college, full scholarship ride. And she states, why is a magnet program so important? For me as an individual who wants to have a career in a medical field, having the Governor's Health Academy at Warwick High School helped me incredibly. It prepared me with the prerequisites and skills that even at a collegiate level, I don't see often. For example, many of my peers at my university complain about not knowing medical terms or even body systems in human psychology this semester. But I am excelling in the classes, even teaching my close friend things she doesn't understand. I went to a tutoring session with her, and as I was helping her understand it in a more fun way, the upperclassman tutor even suggested that I become a tutor after I finished the class. This wouldn't have been possible if our magnet program gave me prior knowledge. It also allows us to showcase our talent and what we are learning in the organization called Hosea. We compete with other schools around the state to see how well our teachers have prepared us in the medical field. As a school, we have had multiple people place top 3 in multiple events. This demonstrates that we are learning real life skills and are more likely to succeed in relevant careers. Now, I didn't take this route, but multiple friends of mine ended high school as CNAs, certified nurses assistants, having lodged many hours with our closest hospital, Riverside. This again provides students with post-high school pathway early and gives them an edge of potentially being hired, as well as this shows dedication and overachievement. Without a magnet at schools, these achievements and building of life skills would be delayed, and that would further decline teens' readiness for life out of high school. Rather, it's art, medical, military, or STEM related, these all very much builds characters. Thank you for listening to me and hopefully understanding where past and future generations are coming from. Have a great day. And I also want to add is that these children are our future, and they may be the ones that take care of us as we age. So let's just remember that we want the best for them because we may see them again. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Mr. Jonathan Carter will be followed by Ms. Catherine Carter.
I'm reading my speech this time. Good evening, members of the board, Commissioner Dr. Best. My name is Jonathan Carter, here again tonight to speak on behalf of maintaining the elementary magnet school program in its current structure and plead to you to just leave it alone. We're wasting money even evaluating it. I keep seeing awards given to magnet graduates, magnet instructors. You're making my argument easy for me. I also was given my son's proxy again tonight to ban homework forever, citywide. He's disappointed you didn't listen last time, so. Moving on, engagement, public engagement. It's more than a metric. We're here, you're hearing us. It's a core value, reflects how we show up for one another. Connect with our community, stay focused on our mission, equitable education for our children. Last quarter, we discussed the third-party budget survey. How do we ensure we have the best tools to turn the survey feedback into meaningful action? Our NMPS policy provides guidance for a cross-functional team representing the best interests for the school system. A team consisting of members of the community, the school system, and board members. I'm formally volunteering to participate in the team. It is critical to my child, along with many others, to leave the elementary magnet program and its transportation intact. Again, a consulting firm cannot measure the impact of the elementary magnet program, no matter the cost. You can only measure the impact of the magnet program by canceling it. Then and only then can the impact be measured once it's too late. How will the findings of the consulting firm be shared? Are line items going to be redacted? Are the constituents going to receive 100% full transparency? Will the constituents have input into the actions taken from the findings? As you all know, the timing of these meetings are inconvenient to all families enrolled in elementary magnet. It's hard enough to get through the day with a rock star wife to share the workload of the family with. What are single mothers doing? They can't get here. I assure you, they want to be here. Public engagement, it's all over social media. Everybody wants the elementary magnet program. They want transportation to be left alone. I'm sure you all don't have the answers to these questions tonight. However, you and I know without a doubt, the attendance of this room doesn't reflect accurately the desire for this program to stay in place. Thank you all for your time. I'm looking forward to working with you in the future to enact meaningful change to the students and the community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And Ms. Carter will be followed by Ms. Mary Voss.
Hi, my name is Katie Wilcox Carter, and I'm the parent of a third grader in the magnet program at Hilton Elementary School. I'm a graduate of NNPS myself, the daughter of a retired Newport News Public Schools teacher, and a local family law attorney. I spoke last month in support of magnet programs. My husband just spoke, and I'm here again to do the same. And I think more today than a request for information or a persuasive argument on my part, I'd like to ask questions that I hope will eventually be answered. I understand that it was back in October that the original update to the community was first shared that provided some proposals about how to modify transportation and change zoning. I had no idea that that was happening at all at that point. I didn't hear anything until a PTA meeting at my child's school and kind of heard that through the grapevine, which was what prompted my husband and I to attend the meeting last month for the first time. So I still feel like information is lacking and that many parents and interested community members who would otherwise want to be involved aren't entering the conversation just because they don't know exactly what's happening or how to get the information. My fear is that this study will be concluded and the results interpreted, changes implemented without giving parents and community members an opportunity to really participate. So my questions today are three, but what specifically has the external consulting firm been tasked to study? What are the specific bullet points and at what costs? Are the proposals the same as they were in October, related mostly to reducing transportation options, adjusting school enrollment by location, or are other proposals like the complete elimination of elementary magnet programs being seriously considered? It's hard to know exactly what's on the chopping block at this point. What number of students and families in both magnet and non-magnet programs would be impacted by these changes, and how will we solicit feedback? Will there be school-based informational meetings, community roundtables, a social media outreach program? Not everyone can attend a school board meeting. Even fewer are comfortable standing up and addressing a school board. I'm highly motivated and fairly comfortable with public speaking, and I still feel like my access to information is not what it should be to be the most effective advocate I could possibly be for the program. I hope the board will answer these questions not just for my sake, but for the sake of all the students and the community members and interested parents who would otherwise want to be involved. Improve access to relevant information and create opportunities for parents, whether or not they're able to attend a school board meeting or to speak before the board, can have their say about what's happening before it's too late. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Ms. Ball.
Hello, good evening, Chair Dr. Best, Vice Chair Alger, Superintendent Dr. Mitchell, and members of the board. Tonight I'm speaking on the proposed NNPS budget. Thank you to NNPS for proposing a 3% salary increase above the 2% recommended in the governor's budget, and for recommending that increase for teachers and staff. That sends an important message that we are all in this together. As you know, staffing challenges in Virginia's public schools extend beyond teachers to include bus drivers, teacher assistants, school counselors, nutrition workers, and more. The proposed NNPS budget is based on the governor's budget proposal, but the General Assembly's proposed budget is more generous, and the final conference budget between the governor and the General Assembly has not yet been determined. Unlike the governor's budget, both the House and Senate include funding for a $1,500 one-time bonus for all standards of quality funded teachers and staff. The NNPS proposed budget includes a $1,000 increase to starting salaries for teachers and associate teachers. That is important for recruitment, but we must also prioritize retention of current employees. Increasing starting salaries can help get people in the door, but retention incentives can help keep our schools running now amidst employee shortages. Retention bonuses are one way to keep the experienced employees we already have. Mid-career and veteran staff are often the most likely to leave due to workload, burnout, and better paying opportunities. These are the employees who are already trained, effective, and deeply invested in our schools. Retention bonuses give them a clear and immediate reason to stay. Retaining experienced staff is more valuable than replacing staff. Turnover creates real cost. Training new hires, reduced effectiveness in their early years, and added strain on remaining staff who must step in to mentor and support. Turnover also negatively impacts school culture and student outcomes. Rising health insurance costs make retention bonuses even more important. Thank you to the school division for absorbing the full cost of health insurance increases in the FY 2024, 2025, and 2026 budgets. This proposed FY 2027 budget includes a $1.7 million increase in health insurance costs, which is, something we're seeing nationwide. NNPS has absorbed the vast majority of the insurance increase at 88% for FY 2027, and we thank you very much for that. But employees will still see higher monthly premiums. Even modest increases add up, and retention bonuses can help offset that impact. So I encourage the board to prioritize retention bonuses if additional funding becomes available through the state budget, because at the end of the day, the success of our schools doesn't just depend on who we hire, it depends on who we keep. Also, please support protections and dignity for our vulnerable LGBTQ+ students by amending policy JBP, as others have spoken on earlier. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments and thoughts this evening. We will now move on to Section 3, the consent agenda, which includes 3.01 minutes from the work session February 17th, 2026, 3.02 minutes from the regular meeting February 17th, 2026, 3.03 financial reports, including the revenue and expense reports for February 26, child nutrition reports, 3.04 the personnel report, 3.05 budget transfer. At this time, can we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any questions?
Madam Chair, just one question on item 3.05. Is it safe to assume that because that item that's budget transfer, is it safe to assume because that item doesn't have a document there that there was no budget transfers for?
It's there.
Mm-hmm.
There's just not an attachment.
Well, I see it on Ms. Searles' law screen.
It's on action.
Okay, all right. We're good?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Ms. Buffalo, call the roll, please.
Ms. Harris. Hunter.
4.
Searles Law.
4.
Alger.
4.
Amon.
4.
Brown.
4.
Best.
4.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. We will now move to Section 4, action items. 4.01, the proposed FY27 operating budget. Dr. Mitchell.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. As you know, 2 Tuesdays in a row, we had the opportunity to engage with Mr. Rusty Fairheart and take a look at the proposed budget. Tonight, we are coming to you asking for your approval for the superintendent's proposed FY 2027 budget, operating budget.
Do I have a motion to approve the 2027 operating budget?
I move to approve the FY27 proposed budget in the amount of $460,875,026.
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve the budget. Any questions?
I believe we have a statement to be read from Regina Harris.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Ms. Harris.
I, Regina Harris, a member of the Newport News School Board, do hereby declare pursuant to 2.2-3112B1 and 2.2-3115H of the Virginia State and Local Government Conflict of Interest Act that the school board meeting of March 17, 2026 1, the school board will consider adopting its fiscal year 2027 operating budget, the transaction. 2, in part, the transaction involves approving the allocation of funding to be received by the City of Newport News for school board operating purposes, and the entire fiscal year 2027 operating budget will be sent to the Newport News City Council for its approval. 3, I have a personal interest in the transaction by virtue of my marriage to Councilman Marcellus L. Harris III, who is a member of the Newport News City Council. 4, I am a member of a group of 3 or more persons, the members of which are affected by the transaction. And 5, pursuant to 2.23112B1 and 2.2-3115H of the Virginia State and Local Government Conflict of Interest Act, I am able to participate in the transactions fairly, objectively, and in the public interest. There should be a signed copy there present.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. At this time, do we have any questions or comments regarding the motion?
Just make a question/comment that we are voting this month because it's Virginia law that we have to vote
Correct.
in this month of March, but we are going to need to vote again because the General Assembly has not passed a budget. So because the General Assembly has not passed a budget, that's why we'll need to vote again. And so I just want to make that comment so that the public and the viewing audience understands when we come back in April, when we vote again, we are, it's not a mistake on our part.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Anyone else? Comments, questions? Ms. Buffalo, call the roll, please.
Ms. Harris.
4,
Hunter.
4,
Searles Law.
4.
Alger.
4.
Amon.
4.
Brown.
4.
Best.
4.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. We will now move on to 4.02, 2026-2027 proposed school calendar. Dr. Mitchell.
Thank you again, Madam Chair. Ms. Tracy Brooks presented to you the proposed 26-27 school calendar. Please keep in mind that Ms. Brooks meets with the committee. She receives input from the public through various means of media, but she also works with surrounding school districts and their calendar committees. We worked hard to include the input from our stakeholders, and at this time, we would ask that you approve the proposed 26-27 school year calendar.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. Do I have a motion to approve the 26-27 proposed school calendar?
I move to approve the 26-27 proposed school calendar.
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve the 26-27 proposed school calendar. Any questions, comments? Ms. Amon?
Just a quick question. Have there been any changes since it was presented to us last month? I don't think so.
No.
Thank you for your question. There was just one change in date in October. For parent conferences, we moved it to a week later based on input from staff and parents to allow more time for assessments to be included as a part of those conferences.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Amon. Anyone else? Okay. Ms. Buffalo, call the roll, please.
Harris.
4,
Hunter.
4,
Searles Law.
4.
Alger.
4.
Amon.
4.
Brown.
4.
Best.
4.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. We will now move on to 4.03, school improvement grant applications. Dr. Mitchell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You've had the opportunity to review the school improvement grant applications that are for federally identified schools. We put together plans to support those schools. It is required by the state and federal government. So at this time, given the fact that you've had the opportunity to review those plans, we're asking that you would move to approve those plans so that we can then move them on and send them directly to the Virginia Department of Education.
At this time, do we have a motion to approve 4.03 school improvement grant applications?
I move to approve the school improvement grant applications as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second that we approve the school improvement grant applications. Any questions, comments?
I just have a comment. It really is striking that Newport News Public Schools currently has 11 federally identified schools under the Every Student Succeeds Act, and it's a reduction from 19 last year. That's a 42% reduction. That is impressive. So we're moving in the absolute right direction.
Thank you very much, Madam Ms. Searles Law, because our staff have worked really hard to make that happen. A lot of heavy lifting, and we appreciate the staff that have been involved in that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Ms. Buffalo, call the roll, please.
Harris.
4.
Hunter.
4.
Searles Law.
4.
Alger.
4.
Amon.
4.
Brown.
4.
Best.
4.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. We will now move to Section 5, Reports and Information, 5.01, 2026 State of the College Update. Dr. Mitchell.
Thank you. This evening, we welcome our partners from the Virginia Peninsula Community College, Miss Michelle Alexander, Stephen, I'm going to try to say it right, Stephen Felker, and Nakia Madre Smith. They are from the Virginia Peninsula Community College, and they are going to come forward to share with us tonight a State of the College update, and they're going to highlight some enrollment trends, workforce programs, as well as the continued growth opportunities for our students. So at this time, we'd ask you to come forward and share this information with us.
Good evening, Superintendent Mitchell, Chairperson Best, and esteemed board members. We're excited to report that enrollment is up, and we're bringing you greetings, first of all, from Virginia Peninsula Community College. And I'm just completely nervous, I guess. My name is Nakia Madre Smith, and I'm the Director of Campus and Community Initiatives for Virginia Peninsula Community College.
Hello, I'm Michelle Alexander. I'm the Dean of Public Safety, Allied Health, and Human Services.
Good evening. I'm Stephen Felker, and I'm Vice President for Institutional Effectiveness and Transformation. Thank you.
And again, we bring you greetings from Virginia Peninsula Community College. We were just so excited to talk about our enrollment growth. And so following a period of enrollment decline, we are growing again. We've observed 2 years consecutively of enrollment growth, and we're on trend for a third year in that direction, so we're really excited. We're very proud and feel that this is something that's unique to Virginia Peninsula Community College because many institutions at the four-year college and the community college levels are still struggling with enrollment, so we're very excited. As you can see here, our Newport News students play a big role in that success. Newport News represents about 21.6% of our total enrollment. And again, we attribute this enrollment uniquely to some of the ways that we're engaging with our students across the peninsula as a whole. We host fast track events where students can enroll in a day. We're re-engaging with stopped out students, so these are folks who have some credits but no credential. We're also everywhere. You'll probably see us, our college navigators, our recruiters are in the middle schools, the high schools. We're hosting open houses, we're doing campus tours, and we're also providing that extra concierge service by offering one-on-one appointments with our prospective and current students. On the workforce side, Fast Forward has become a critical component for us to deliver our mission to provide access to short-term credential programs which lead to high-pay, high-demand jobs. The Workforce Credential Grant is a state-funded program that covers 2/3 of the tuition cost for our residents in high-demand fields. Residents pay 1/3 up front, and when they successfully complete that training, the remaining costs are covered. But with other forms of assistance, most of our students pay little to nothing or nothing at all, which is obviously our goal. Since established in 2016, Fast Forward has grown significantly. If you see the graph here, we have exceeded, the VCCS has exceeded as a whole the amount of funds that have been allocated. So the white bar represents the money that was allocated by the state for this program. The purple bar represents the VCCS year over year, borrowing from the next year to be able to provide support to students. And so this year we were not allowed to do that anymore, and so it did significantly impact the number of students that we could support through the Fast Forward program. Some additional enrollment information. It's important to note that Fast Forward is not a 4-credit program. It's a workforce-based training program offered in high-demand areas such as allied healthcare, IT, HVAC, and welding. These program lengths typically range from 2 weeks to 6 months, and they're designed to get our residents to work quickly. This graph shows a snapshot. It shouldn't be too much of a surprise that our largest concentration of students are from Newport News, followed by Hampton and Williamsburg, James City County. We anticipate growth in each of these areas due largely to the relatively new opening of our Toano Trade Center in 2023, as well as our new Newport News Trade Center, which is opening later this month. So we're very excited. I hope you all will be joining us at the ribbon cutting. We continue to monitor the talent needs of the region, and we're responsive to those needs. For example, in the next year at our Newport News Trade Center, we'll be expanding our ability to offer maritime and constructions-related training programs by offering a new structural fitting pathway, as well as a construction lab. Again, we'll continue to monitor and offer and adapt as long as the funding is available.
So another really exciting growth area for us is dual enrollment, and we certainly appreciate the partnerships that we have with our local K-12 schools in that enrollment trend. It has grown rapidly since 2021, and we expect growth to continue over the next several years, particularly with the passage of the CCRB and the opportunity for every high school now to offer the Uniform Certificate of General Education, which is 30 credits, and our Passport, which is 15 credits. And that legislation is, providing us the opportunity to do that. So this graph shows you our dual enrollment by a locality. I want to clarify that this is based on the address of the dual enrollment student. And so it's enrollment within the locality is highlighted in each of those areas. You can see that Newport News is a good portion of that graph, and we look forward to seeing that increase over the next few years, particularly with the offering of more of those Uniform Certificate of General Studies classes. Those out-of-service region students include students who take classes through the Virginia Space Grant Consortium, and also we have some students who take UMS classes out of Henrico County. But you can see the majority, obviously, of our dual enrollment classes are coming from our K-12 localities. And so this just highlights what we're seeing in dual enrollment for Newport News. Slightly down over the last couple of years, but again, we are excited about the partnerships that we are forming. We've had a lot of meetings lately with our dual enrollment partners and academic affairs, and we're very excited about these opportunities for offering more. Dual enrollment pathways are really important for students. It gives them that opportunity to get that exposure to college level work while not paying those college level prices, and being able to go into a college pathway getting a little bit of ahead. And so whether they decide to matriculate to us after they have graduated and finished their associate's degree, or move on to a 4-year college, getting that dual enrollment is really important for them and gives them that opportunity to get ahead and have some expectation of what the next step in that pathway is for them. Retention and completion is also really important to us, and we are very excited to announce to you that even as we have seen enrollment growth, we are also seeing really important growth in our retention rates. As you know, that is another challenge for colleges across the country, particularly after the pandemic. It is challenging, particularly for community colleges, because students, our students experience unique barriers that get in the way of them being able to continue their college. So we're really excited to see that our fall to fall retention rate has increased by 5%. That means that when they start with us in the fall, the following year, they're still with us. And that's really important, because that's typically over the summers where we see that stop out. We've also seen a 4% increase in degrees and certificates awarded, which is another really important metric for us, because just taking a few classes isn't necessarily getting our students ahead, but certainly completing that credential is helping them to get along to their next pathway. And then, of course, you heard previously from Nakia about the fast forward completers. We've seen a 19% increase in that. So that's good news, because students are coming to us and they're completing, which means that when they leave us, they have more opportunity for that next step.
One of the things that we're particularly proud about the role we play in our community is the fact that not only are we generating great graduates, we're keeping them in Virginia, right? And so what you're seeing on the slide right now is a study that was done by the State Council of Higher Education for Virginia that really looked at what happens to Virginia's graduates right out of our colleges and universities. And what they found is that graduates from the community college system, and Virginia Peninsula Community College included, are much more likely to stay in Virginia after they graduate, right? So those of us who've been in Hampton Roads for a while, we know that's an issue for us, right? And we really want to retain that talent here. So that's something that we really focus on and we're really proud of for our work. One of the things, Michelle talked a lot about enrollment, retention, completion. One of the shifting conversations with community colleges right now is this idea of Community College 3.0, where we kind of started with the access mission. We moved to, okay, we've done pretty well with access. How do we make students more successful while they're with us? And the Community College 3.0 concept is maybe we need to focus a little bit more on what happens to them after they leave us, right? And so one of the things that we've really started focusing on is postgraduate outcomes. And so you see on the slide here, really another metric that we track closely is what's happening to our students, how effectively are they getting jobs after they leave us. And we're really pleased with, regardless of the type of program, so we talked about short-term credentialing programs that can be a few weeks to our associate degrees at 2 years, we're seeing really good outcomes for our students there as well. One of the things that we're probably most excited about at the college is all of our facility improvements, new facilities coming online. Nakia stole my thunder a little bit with the Newport News Trade Center, but we've got a lot going on around facilities right now. And it's been a long time since the college had new facilities, and a long time, honestly, since the college had a dedicated presence in Newport News. So we're super excited about our new early childhood development center in Southeast Newport News, a partnership with Newport News, City of Newport News, and Peak Early Childhood Center that opened last January. We're super excited to be opening our new Newport News Trade Center. We hope some of you will be there next week on the 25th for the ribbon cutting for that ceremony. So we've got a lot going on there. We've got our brand new theater at our Hampton campus that we hope you will take advantage of and come see us at. And we are getting ready right now. If you've been driving past us on the interstate, you'll see that our original footprint of our Hampton campus has been demolished, and we are just about ready this fall to start building our brand new premier academic student services building at our Hampton campus. I'll close out before we certainly give you an opportunity for any questions you have for us. One of the things that really makes us pleased is hearing from our students and hearing that we're serving them well. I will share in full honesty that we did not always have glowing comments like this. We've done a lot of work. We get all kinds of feedback on student surveys and different things that we do, but we are really pleased with the progress we have made. We're really, we spent a lot of time investing in student spaces, student support services, and we really think it's paid off for our student experience. We have a brand new culture of care that we've really implemented across our campus that we feel like has had a lot of great impacts on our students and on our community. So we're really proud and looking forward to the future. So with that, we certainly welcome any questions that you all have for us.
Okay. Kyla?
Hi, I just want to thank you guys for your presentation today. I had a question that would be more in the future, but you guys include post-grad employment rates. Would it ever be possible to see what career fields your graduates are pursuing?
Yes, that is something that we're working on ourselves as well. So we're actually working, one of the things we're really working on is how to tell our story and tell the story of our graduates more completely. And so we are working with some vendors that we think may be able to help us do that quite effectively.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Brown?
Well, I'll make a comment. This is very enheartening and fantastic. I want to really thank you for taking the time to come. I think in my time on the board, this is the first time that we've had you at our board meeting. And so I really appreciate the coordination and cooperation that's taking place to get you here. And personally, I want to see you come back every year and do the same presentation. So personally, I would like to see this continue, and we can see the same presentation next year and see how much we've grown and how much of our share of fast forward candidates and dual enrollment candidates have grown. Because for me, in my own life, community college was a real pivot point for me, and that was how my family was able to afford to go to college, was because of community college. And doing that in high school, that defrayed much of the cost of college, and I would not have been able to go to the college that I went to without it. So I know how much it meant to me in my life. It was a real pivot point in my life and my future, and I think it's a real game changer for all the students in our community. So I hope that this continues.
Ms. Aina?
Sure. Thank you guys for coming. I just wanted to kind of offer some thanks and a comment. My family, we're customers. My son is a senior at Menchville, so he's doing the early college semester with you guys. And I think it's an excellent program. I would love to see that slice of the Newport News pie.
You can get bigger, yeah. We need to make that bigger.
I think he's thrilled to have a college schedule instead of a high school schedule, and he'll be an athlete next year at a 4-year school. So to have that experience before you have to worry about athletics or get some extra credits, so maybe you can have a little experience and lighter schedule. Great way for even high school athletes to think about getting their feet wet and learning and being set up for success when they go to their next step. And I think it would be great to see as many students at some point maybe be able to get an associate's degree if they're coming through Newport News. I know we're working on it, so thank you guys for coming. It's been an excellent program for us. So I look forward to seeing it grow. Lots of Newport News families to listen and think about it.
You have something to say?
No, I'm just glad you guys were here to share with us this evening. This is different than what we've had before. Your branding is definitely something that our students are going to recognize.
And I just want to add, I've been in Newport News forever, and honestly, I'll be honest, this past 2 years have been the most that I've visited the campus. It is beautiful. You guys are doing an awesome job, and thank you for the presentation and the transparency. We need that. We need to know our reality in order to make changes, so thank you.
And Madam Chair, if I may, I just want to, thank you. I just want to add how much we have enjoyed our partnership in the past couple of years. It really has solidified. We've done some things with VPCC that we haven't done before. Dr. Rogers and myself have had multiple meetings with your president, and we really would like to thank not only VPCC, but also Christopher Newport, because as you looked at the data, our goal is to increase the number of students that go to early college, the number of students that get an associate's degree, the number of students that have access to the dual credit classes. And I've shared with our board that many of our teachers that had those credentials have retired, and so that had been a challenge for us. But we are really pleased to say that this year we've gone from 5 teachers having it to 26. And partnering with Christopher Newport, they've created a program for us to be able to get our teachers there. And so we can say to you that when you come back next year, the piece of that slice of that pie is going to be larger. And we are very honored to be able to partner with you. And thank you for the commitment you've made to our students and to our school division.
And I also have a comment. I want to say thank you for the presentation as well, very informative. Mrs. Alger and I had an opportunity to meet with Dr. Brennan last summer, and we just talked a little about the partnership between Newport News Public Schools and Virginia Peninsula Community College. And we want to thank Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Rogers. They just continued to work and continued to build, and we are excited about the expansion of our partnership. The Trade Center, I will definitely be there, and I think you'll see several of us there. We were also, Ms. Alger and I were at the groundbreaking, and we were so excited about that. The Mary Christian Theater, I had an opportunity to go to opening night. It's absolutely beautiful, so I encourage the community, board members, if you get a chance to go out there, it is simply an amazing place to be, and I'm just excited about the partnership, and I just want to say thank you again for your support of Newport News Public Schools, and we're looking forward to expanding that pie. So thank you. Anything else? Okay, thank you. And, oh, can give him a round of applause. Yes. Mhm. So we will now move to section 5, reports and information. 5.02, special education annual plan. Where are we at? Thank you. Dr. Mitchell, I'm sorry.
No problem, thank you. And before I do the introduction for this next presentation, I do want to take a moment to thank Mr. Daryl Pankratz because he did a lot of the heavy lifting with the dual language and with working with VPCC as well as CNU. So I didn't want to leave you out back there.
Thank you.
Okay. So as you know, every year, this is an annual plan that comes before you. We are required to present to the school board the proposed spending plan for the funds that we receive for special education. And the Director of Special Education typically comes and presents that. So it's my pleasure to turn it over to Ms. Vivian Vitullo.
Good evening. Good evening, Chairman Best, Vice Chairman Alger, board members, and Dr. Mitchell. Tonight, I am presenting the proposed spending plan for federal grant funds allocated for special education. Local education agencies are required to submit this application each year pursuant to the federal provisions of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act of 2004, as well as the Virginia state regulations governing special education and related services for students with disabilities. Prior to the submission of the plan, the Virginia Department of Education requires that the local division present its plan to the local school board for approval and for review by their local Special Education Advisory Committee. The annual plan serves as a formal agreement between the local school board and the Virginia Department of Education for implementing federal and state laws governing special education services. Accordingly, we are required to provide certain assurances related to the provision of these services. Specifically, we are required to assure that we are providing a free, appropriate public education, that each student's program is designed for them and is documented in an individualized education program, and that students are educated in an inclusive environment to the extent that their educational programming permits. Finally, we must maintain a structure that prevents the over-identification of students in special education in general or in specific categories. In addition to the assurances, the annual plan requires that the division submit information on expenditures in some selected programs. For maintenance of effort eligibility, we make sure we are budgeting at least the same amount on special education supports as we spent in the year MOE was most recently met. Included in the selected programs is the local jail program, where services are provided by licensed special education teachers to support students with disabilities who are currently incarcerated. Another component of the plan is the supports for students with disabilities parentally placed in private schools, including homeschooled students, for which we offer special education services. It is important to note that the administrators from the private schools collaborate with our staff to identify the provisions of special education services to be made available to the parentally placed student. Our agreement has been to offer speech-language services to those students who are found eligible. In addition, we collaborate with these programs to offer professional development and engage with families to meet child find requirements of IDEA, which requires schools to identify, locate, and evaluate children from ages 2 to 21 who reside in our district and may require special education services. The last component is the funding expenditures. It is separated into two sections, 611 for pre-K through 12th grade and 619 for preschool special education only. We are currently serving students in 12 of the 13 disability categories. As reflected in the graph, the disability category with the most students is specific learning disabilities, followed by autism. We do not currently have any students whose primary disability is deaf-blind. Our federal funding allocation is based on the number of students with disabilities receiving services on December 1. On December 1, 2025, we were serving a total of 3,892 students with disabilities. We continue to see a steady increase in the number of students with disabilities served by Newport News Public Schools. Since 2021, our December 1 count has increased by 298 students. As of February 28th, we are serving 3,994 students, which reflects an increase of 95 students since December 1. Notably, the number of students with autism continues to rise, with many of these students requiring more intensive supports, including classroom settings with smaller teacher-to-student ratios. Special education programs are supported by federal, state, and local funding. IDEA Part B are federal funds that provide financial assistance to school divisions serving students with disabilities. The Individuals with Disabilities Education Act 611 and 619 combined represent nearly $7.3 million of the overall funding. We are proposing to continue to utilize this funding for personnel, including a parent resource coordinator, which is required by the state, and extended school year services for those qualifying students. Approximately 121 positions are supported by these funds. I would like to close out the presentation by sharing some of the highlights from the Office of Special Education and Student Support Services during the 2025-2026 school year. Our professional development opportunities included in-person and on-demand options for all special education teachers and instructional assistants, in-person professional development focused on strengthening skills and the identification and implementation of specially designed instruction. Additionally, first and second year special education teachers participated in the New Teacher Institute, which includes multiple full-day sessions focused on building understanding of specially designed instruction and special education compliance. I also want to highlight our community partnerships. Through Project Search and in partnership with Centera and Fort Eustis, we continue to provide our students with authentic experiences to develop workplace skills. Interns participating in these programs boast a success rate of nearly 90% in gaining competitive employment upon completion of their internship. Our partnership with the Department of Aging and Rehabilitative Services enables us to provide our students with both virtual and in-person participation in their career exploration program, through which our students explore career interests, develop independent living skills, and complete a vocational assessment. The Special Education Training and Technical Assistance Center at the College of William & Mary partners with us to provide our staff with targeted professional development focused on specially designed instruction and supporting transition activities for students with disabilities. During the next board meeting on April 21, we will be seeking your approval of the proposed plan and will submit it to the Virginia Department of Education no later than May 8th. This concludes my presentation, and at this time I'm happy to respond to your questions and note requests for additional information.
Board members, questions? Ms. Seaman?
Thank you for the presentation. You mentioned increasing numbers of students with autism and or those with autism with more advanced needs. Just a couple, have there been changes or increases, reductions in other types of identified disabilities? And then when you talk, so that's one. And the second was when you talk about students that have, more significant needs than maybe you used to see, does that impact the funding that we receive, or is it sort of a flat rate based on number of
So
students?
the funding is based on the student count on December 1.
Okay.
They do look at whether students are level 2 or level 1, which is the percentage of services that they need. But it's been pretty level funding over the last several years.
And have we seen any other changes in the types of disabilities or increases or reductions?
Primarily, our fastest growing disability category has been autism. I can get you specifics on
No,
the other
that's fine. I just didn't know if there was specific learning disabilities or
developmental
anything.
delays had started to increase, but that's been leveling off. But it is primarily the largest growing disability category.
Any other questions?
Yeah,
Ms. Alger?
Yes, I have several questions. I'm just curious about how many are twice exceptional, how many are L students, and also within the preschool category. Also, I'd like to know in terms of how many classrooms in general, self-contained versus non-self-contained, such as inclusion settings or resource settings that we have. So if I can get, or we can get that information later.
Yeah, I can get you that data for sure. Off the top of my head, I don't have the exact numbers, but I do have the data. I just have to compile it, and I can send it to you.
And I just, out of curiosity, I know I read recently about with Department of Ed, the federal funds have been shifted. Now it's going to be overseen by the Department of, is it Labor?
Yes, I believe so. Our
Yeah.
funding comes from the state, so the state facilitates that part. We work directly with the state.
With the state, and they're still reorganizing, I imagine, based on,
At the state level, I'm not aware of any reorganization at this time.
Right, yeah, the special education department seems to be one of the more stable ones right now
Okay.
at the VDO.
Okay.
There hasn't
I
been
was
a
just
change
curious
to the
about that,
person that's
right, with
lead.
all the shifts that are happening. Okay, thank you.
And I will get the data to you.
I just want
Ms.
to
Ava?
add one more comment. I value your slide on community partnerships. I know for a lot of families that I work with as the kids are getting older, getting close to 18, it's very scary to see. You've had so much support and so many services, and then where do you go? So the fact that we're doing our best to partner with other agencies, organizations that can help kind of create a framework for the next step for those students is wonderful.
So I just want to thank you. Oh, I'm sorry,
I
Ms.
do have
Harris.
a question. Yeah, I have a question in regards to the with the increase in the autistic population. Are we seeing any challenges in the workforce with keeping up with ratios and maybe getting specialists? And are we seeing any challenges in terms of that?
So we work very closely with HR to be able to staff our classes. There are some challenges across the state in staffing, but we are working very closely with HR to make sure that our classes are fully staffed. In the situations where we don't have a licensed teacher hired, we do work closely with our long-term substitutes to ensure that they're getting the supports that they need to be able to support the class.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. I just wanted to say thank you for the report. I know special ed is just very challenging, and it's lots of laws and rules and guidelines, and I just want you to know, the special education department, to know we appreciate all that you do. And you're doing a great job, as evidenced by the numbers, because students continue to come. They continue to come. So just wanted to say thank you and keep up the good work.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We know it's hard, but we
We're very
appreciate
proud
it.
of our team, and I appreciate that.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna move on. Oh, a round of applause.
Thankful.
We'll now move on to 5.03, the attendance report. Board members, you have received a copy of this report. Are there any questions? 5.04, the membership report. Board members, you have received a copy of this report. Are there any questions? 5.05, construction report. Board members, you have received a copy of this report. Are there any questions? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to item 5.06, comments by the superintendent. Dr. Mitchell.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I promise I will be brief. I do want to acknowledge March as Women's History Month, and I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the contributions of women, but I think that Anaya, our student, said it much better than I did, so Anaya did a great job, and we just want to acknowledge all the women that have made a difference. My next thing, I'm so excited about it, and I know that our student rep was there. I just wanted to thank our 1,550 seniors that came to our senior rally. It was an amazing event. We had over 40 vendors that were there for our students, but we had a lot of fun, a lot of spirit, a lot of just celebrating our seniors who are at that milestone and just telling them just to finish strong. And Kyla, I think you might even say something about it later. I don't know, but it was a great time. And just to wind down on our calendar, we have several important dates. Friday, April the 2nd is a half day for our students with a teacher work day and planning time for our staff in the afternoon. And then, of course, we do have our spring break from April the 6th through April the 10th. All of our schools and offices will be closed. And then on April the 13th, our staff will return for a teacher work day. However, that still is a non-school day for children. So children will be home on April the 13th, and that concludes my remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. We'll now move on to item 6, another opportunity to hear from the public. Are there any cards? Thank you. We'll move on to matters by the school board, and we'll begin with our student representative.
Thank you. The only comment I have for the senior rally is that Mitchell is the best and we want our spirit stick.
They did win the spirit stick.
Yeah. So, but I do love Menchville, and I think our spirit was really showing at the senior rally, and it was just such a blast. So I want to thank Newport News for organizing that, and it really hypes our seniors up for graduation. I was mainly going to talk about last week. I had the privilege of going to Washington, D.C. for the United States Senate Youth Program. And I got to meet so many inspirational leaders from across the country. And I don't just mean in our government, I mean students. I got to meet 104 other delegates who have served their community in monumental ways. And I learned so much across the board. My favorite part of it was going to NASA. It was super cool. And then we went to the Air and Space Museum and we had dinner and we spoke with Mr. Charles Bolden, who's the former NASA administrator. And he made a law first. And the thing I took away from his speech, I took away 2 things from this program. The first thing I took away was don't let fear stop you from doing the hard things. He was afraid of flying. And then he became an astronaut. So let that sink in because he took the first step and it was difficult. America has been built on the difficult decisions our pioneers made. You, all in this crowd, have the unique opportunity to take the hard steps that set our future up for success. Every time I get up on this mic, I want you guys to know I'm scared. When I ran for this position through the Student Advisory Group on Education, when I gave my speech, my legs were visibly shaking, and that's a bit embarrassing. But I did it because it was hard, and I did it because it pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I now have the privilege to serve you all. And I wouldn't be here if I didn't push myself. So the first thing I want you guys to take away is that you need to push yourself in order to achieve success. And if you don't push yourself, you'll be stuck in the same place. The second thing I took away was, speaking of doing the hard things, we all need to go out and vote, people. And I say it's hard because voting is hard. Putting the time away to go out to the polls is hard. It's usually on Tuesdays. Nobody has a free Tuesday. That's not a day. And the times aren't good enough for Americans. And sometimes you're stuck between 2 difficult decisions where you're not that satisfied. And I urge you to go out and vote because I've heard a lot of things about the 2-party system while I was in DC and how it's not that beneficial to Americans. And if you believe that, then you should go and incentivize America to do something different. Write your representatives. Ask to pass a bill that doesn't incentivize a 2-party system. If you're not satisfied with your representatives, go out and vote. That is the most power you have as an American citizen. And it is something that might seem hard in the grand scheme of things, but it's something that you should go out and do because that is how you have true power, and every American has that power. So those are the 2 things I really want to touch on, and I thank you guys so much, and I want to thank our community specifically because without you guys, I wouldn't have had the privilege of going to this program. And I'm very blessed to be a Newport News student, and I'm very proud of that. Thank you guys.
Thank you so very much for your representation. Thank you for your motivational words. They certainly motivated me. Marissa can tell you the conversation we had earlier today. I'm just going to say this for me. I needed that. And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.